Every cold and flu season, Americans spend over $4 billion on immunity supplements, packets, lozenges, gummies, and tablets, promising to keep them healthy or get them better faster. Most of it goes straight down the toilet, literally. The human body can absorb roughly 200 to 400 milligrams of vitamin C at one sitting. The most popular immunity supplement in America puts 1,000 milligrams in a single packet. The math is not complicated. You're paying for 1,000 milligrams and absorbing less than half. The rest gets filtered by your kidneys and flushed within hours. That's not a supplement. That's very expensive urine. Subscribe and let's get into it. That moment you feel the first scratch at the back of your throat, the slight heaviness behind the eyes. You know what's coming. You go to the cabinet, tear open a packet, watch the orange powder dissolve into fizzing, brightly colored water, and drink it down. You feel like you did something. That specific feeling, the ritual of having taken action, is what the immunity supplement industry is actually selling. And it's worth understanding why it works before we talk about why it doesn't. The ritual of taking a supplement activates a genuine placebo response with real, measurable effects on how people perceive their symptoms. The supplement industry didn't create this phenomenon. They just built a $4 billion business on top of it. Pfizer owns Emergen-C. That fact appears nowhere on the cheerful orange packet with the fizzing glass on the front. The brand was built on a simple premise. Vitamin C supports immune function. Therefore, more vitamin C supports immune function more. The problem is that's not how vitamin C absorption works. Your small intestine has a maximum rate at which it can transport vitamin C into your bloodstream. At 200 milligrams, absorption efficiency is above 90%. At 1,000 milligrams, the amount in a standard Emergen-C packet, efficiency drops to somewhere between 50 and 70%, and the excess is gone within hours. The 1,000 milligram number on the front of the packet is a marketing number, not a bioavailability number. Then there's the fizzing itself, that effervescent dissolve, the bubbles, the bright color, the citrus smell filling the room creates a powerful sensory experience that reinforces the feeling of taking something potent. A fizzing, brightly colored, fruit-scented drink feels more medicinal than a plain glass of orange juice with the same vitamin C content. The fizz is not a formulation decision. It's a consumer psychology decision. Airborne sits in the same category, and its origin story is less discussed than it should be. It was invented by a second-grade teacher with no medical background, settled a $23 million false advertising class action in 2008, and kept growing anyway. The settlement didn't change the formula. It didn't slow the brand. Here's what the label doesn't tell you. Airborne's proprietary herbal blend: ginger, echinacea, forsythia, isatis root, schizandra berry, Chinese vitex, weighs 370 milligrams total. Divided across 6 ingredients, that's roughly 60 milligrams per ingredient on average. The research on echinacea alone uses doses of 300 to 900 milligrams per serving to show any effect. Airborne's entire herbal blend doesn't reach the dose of a single studied ingredient. That proprietary blend designation is one of the most useful tools in the supplement industry's regulatory toolkit. It lets a brand list impressive-sounding ingredients while revealing nothing about whether any of them are present at doses that do anything. It's not a sign of a sophisticated formula. It's a sign that the brand doesn't want you doing the math. Then there are the pharmaceutical adjacents: Mucinex Immune Defense, Theraflu Immune Support, Dayquil Immune Support. These products live next to the cold medicine on the pharmacy shelf. They carry the visual identity of products that are FDA-regulated drugs. They are not drugs, they are supplements, subject to the same minimal regulatory oversight as Emergen-C, carrying the same supports immune function claim that requires no clinical proof. A consumer grabbing Mucinex for congestion and reaching for Mucinex Immune Defense as a companion product is making a reasonable decision based on brand trust that was earned by the drug, not the supplement. Store brands complete this picture without adding anything new. CVS, Walgreens, Target, Walmart, all essentially Emergen-C at half the price. That price difference is instructive. If the store brand delivers the same formula at half the cost, the Emergen-C premium is entirely brand. The fizzing glass, the orange packet, the pharmacy shelf presence that makes it feel like medicine. Strip the mythology away, and what's left is the formula. The formula is fine. It's just not doing what most people think it's doing. The second category is more frustrating because the ingredients are real. These products aren't selling you soy protein dressed up as beef. They're using compounds with genuine research behind them. The problem is that the research is messier than the labels suggest. The doses in commercial products rarely match the doses that showed effects in studies, and the specific form of the ingredient matters enormously in ways that packaging almost never explains. Nature's Way, Echinacea, Gaia Herbs, Echinacea Supreme, Herb Farm, Echinacea, three of the most trusted names in the natural supplement space, all selling the same ingredient, all pointing to the same body of research. Over 30 clinical trials across several decades have published genuinely inconsistent results. Here's why. And the brands won't tell you this on the label. Echinacea is not one thing. There are three main species, Purpurea, Angustifolia, and Pallida, with meaningfully different active compound profiles. The root and the aerial parts of the plant behave differently. The extraction method changes what you're actually getting. The dose matters. The timing relative to symptom onset matters. Nature's Way lists Echinacea purpurea herb and a milligram amount. Herb Farm lists their liquid extract ratio. Neither tells you whether what's in the bottle matches the specific form, species, and dose that produced results in the trials they're implicitly referencing. Most people buying Echinacea assume the research transfers automatically to whatever bottle they're holding. It doesn't. Now picture the supplement aisle at Whole Foods. There's a wall of products that look serious. Dense ingredient lists, clinical-sounding language, tablets that look like they belong behind a pharmacy counter. Wellness Formula by Source Naturals is the flagship of this category. Over 24 ingredients: vitamin C, zinc, echinacea, garlic, elderberry, beta-glucan, astragalus, and more. The label reads like a pharmaceutical. It feels like someone did the research so you don't have to. But here's what the proprietary blend label is hiding. When you divide the total blend weight across 24 ingredients, the average dose per ingredient lands in the tens of milligrams. The research on any single one of those ingredients used doses 10 to 20 times higher. Wellness Formula isn't combining powerful doses of proven ingredients. It's combining trace amounts of impressive-sounding ones. Immune Defense, the one sold at Costco in the big orange box, runs the same play. Vitamin C, zinc, elderberry, echinacea, all on the front panel. The doses on the back tell a quieter story. The zinc is 2 milligrams. The research on zinc and cold duration used 75 milligrams per day. Those two numbers are not in the same conversation. Airborne already appeared in Category 1 for its ritual and fizz, but it belongs here too because its herbal blend problem is a dosing problem, not just a marketing problem. 370 milligrams, split across 6 herbal ingredients, 60 milligrams per ingredient on average. The research on echinacea alone uses 300 to 900 milligrams per serving. Airborne's entire herbal blend doesn't reach the studied dose of a single ingredient inside it. Now, the most successful thing the supplement industry ever did was convince adults that medicine should taste like dessert. Picture the person buying Ollie Immunity Gummies. She's not careless about her health. She reads labels. She moved away from the chalky multivitamins her mother kept in the cabinet. The Ollie gummies are colorful. They taste like elderberry and citrus. And taking 2 in the morning feels like a small act of self-care rather than a chore. She's been buying the same bottle for 2 years. What she doesn't know is that VitaFusion, Ollie, and Smarty Pants, the 3 brands that dominate the gummy vitamin shelf, all share the same fundamental manufacturing problem. The gummy process requires heat and moisture that degrades heat-sensitive vitamins. Vitamin C is particularly vulnerable. The dose printed on the label reflects what went into production. It does not necessarily reflect what survived it. Independent testing has repeatedly found actual vitamin C content in gummy vitamins lower than label claims, sometimes significantly, because of degradation during manufacturing and shelf storage. She's eating candy with vitamins in it. Some of the vitamins may have survived long enough to reach her. The sugar definitely did. Elderberry is everywhere right now, and the brands selling it are counting on you not knowing the difference between an ingredient and a formula. Zarbee's Elderberry Syrup, Nature's Way Sambucus Elderberry Gummies, Mary Ruth's Elderberry, Ollie Immunity with Elderberry. These are 4 of the top-selling elderberry products in America. None of them are the formula that was studied. The clinical research people cite when they recommend elderberry, the trials that showed reduced cold duration and severity, used sambucol's standardized black elderberry extract at specific anthocyanin concentrations. That research was done on that specific formula. Zarbee's uses elderberry syrup at an undisclosed standardization. Nature's Way Sambucus uses a proprietary elderberry extract, different concentration, different dose than the studied formula. Mary Ruth's and Ollie use elderberry as one ingredient among several, in a gummy format that introduces the manufacturing degradation problem on top of the standardization problem. This doesn't mean these products do nothing. It means the evidence for elderberry doesn't automatically transfer to every product that puts elderberry on a label. There is a meaningful difference between elderberry has research and this gummy has elderberry, therefore this gummy has research. Does it list a proprietary blend without individual ingredient amounts, wellness formula, airborne, immune defense? If the brand won't tell you how much of each ingredient is in the product, they don't want you doing the math. There's usually a reason for that. What is the zinc dose and what form is it? If the zinc in your supplement isn't zinc gluconate or zinc acetate in a slow dissolve lozenge at a meaningful dose, it's doing label work, not immune work. Is this a gummy? The most purchased supplement formats in America are among the least efficient ways to get vitamins into your body. If it tastes like candy, it's probably performing like candy. Out of a $4 billion industry with hundreds of products making immunity claims, the ones with strong, reproducible, peer-reviewed evidence at the right dose and the right form fit in a single paragraph. But they exist. Zinc lozenges like Cold Ease and Zicam are the belle of the ball, not zinc tablets, not zinc gummies, not zinc in a powder you dissolve and drink. Cold Ease and Zicam zinc lozenges specifically, and the distinction matters more than most people realize. A 2017 meta-analysis published in the Journal of the Royal Society of Medicine found that zinc lozenges containing at least 75 milligrams of elemental zinc per day started within 24 hours of first cold symptoms, reduced cold duration by an average of 33%. 3 requirements make or break whether that research applies to what you're holding. First, ionic zinc, zinc gluconate or zinc acetate. Cold Ease uses zinc gluconate. Zicam lozenges use zinc gluconate. Both are the ionic form the research consistently used, the form that appears to interfere directly with rhinovirus replication in the nasal passages. Generic zinc supplements typically use zinc oxide or chelated forms that don't behave the same way. Second, slow-dissolve lozenges. The mechanism requires zinc ions in direct contact with the nasal and throat mucosa. Swallowing a zinc tablet bypasses this entirely. The delivery format is not a preference, it's the mechanism. Cold Ease and Zicam are both formulated as slow-dissolve lozenges for exactly this reason. Third, timing. Cold Ease's own clinical trials specify symptom onset within 24 hours, not I've been sick for 3 days and just remembered I have zinc. The window closes fast. One important note on Zicam, the lozenges have a clean research record. The nasal spray, a different product entirely, was pulled from the market in 2009 after reports of permanent smell loss. If you're buying Zicam, you want the lozenges, not the spray, not the tablets. You want the lozenges. Cold Ease and Zicam aren't miracle products. They don't prevent colds. They don't eliminate symptoms. The evidence says they can reduce how long you're sick if you take them correctly and start immediately. That's a specific, honest, meaningful claim. It's more than most of this category can say. All of that research, the trials, the placebo controls, the peer-reviewed results, it all traces back to one product. Not a gummy, not a syrup with a cartoon on the label. Sambucol Black Elderberry Syrup. It is the original formula in the syrup format. A 2016 randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled trial published in Nutrients followed 312 economy-class passengers on long-haul flights, one of the highest respiratory exposure environments a healthy person regularly encounters. and found that those taking Sambucol's standardized black elderberry extract experienced colds of significantly shorter duration and lower severity compared to placebo. A 2019 meta-analysis in complementary medicine found consistent results across multiple trials using the same standardized extract. The key word is standardized. Sambucol's formula is standardized to specific concentrations of anthocyanins, the active compounds in elderberries, that were present in every trial that produced those results. Zarbee's, Nature's Way, Mary Ruth's, and Ollie are not standardized to those concentrations. They use elderberry. They are not using the right formula. Sambucol also makes gummies and kids formats. Those use the same extract at lower doses. Still likely better than competitor elderberry products, but further from the studied formula. If you're buying Sambucol because of the research, buy the original syrup. In a category where Zarbee's and Nature's Way inherit zero of the clinical evidence simply by putting elderberry on a label, Sambucol is the exception that proves the rule. The absorption ceiling isn't a secret. The supplement industry has known about it for decades. One company decided to actually do something about it. Live On Labs built a product specifically to solve that problem. Lipospheric vitamin C uses liposomal delivery, vitamin C molecules wrapped in phospholipid spheres, the same basic structure as cell membranes, that allows the vitamin to be absorbed through a different pathway than standard ascorbic acid. Instead of hitting the intestinal transport ceiling that limits emergent C, liposomal C is taken up through endocytosis. The absorption ceiling doesn't apply. A 2016 study published in Nutrition and Metabolic Insights found that liposomal vitamin C produced significantly higher plasma concentrations than standard oral vitamin C at equivalent doses. The bioavailability advantage is real and measurable. Lipospheric C delivers 1,000 milligrams per packet. Unlike the Emergent C packet sitting next to it on the shelf, you may actually absorb most of it. The downsides are honest ones. Roughly $40 for 30 packets. The texture is a viscous gel you mix into water. The taste is challenging. It is not competing with Emergen-C on the experience of taking it. It's competing on what actually reaches your bloodstream. And on that measure, it's not a close contest. If lipospheric is the high-end solution to the absorption problem, Thorne is the responsible everyday one. Thorne manufactures to pharmaceutical-grade standards and submits to third-party testing for potency and purity, a combination that is genuinely rare in a supplement industry where most brands test nothing and verify less. Their vitamin C uses ascorbic acid at 250 milligrams per capsule, not 1,000, not the megadose number that looks impressive on a packet and gets processed out by noon. A dose actually within the absorption range your body can use. 2 or 3 Thorne capsules spread across the day maintains higher sustained plasma vitamin C levels than a single Emergent C packet your kidneys filter out before lunch. Lower doses taken more frequently deliver more usable vitamin C than one dramatic serving that exceeds what your intestinal transporters can handle at one sitting. There's no fizz, nothing about it feels like medicine, it just works like it. Every cold season, $4 billion moves from American wallets into the immunity supplement industry. Most of it funds the marketing budget of products built around the psychology of doing something rather than the biology of preventing illness. You don't have to stop taking supplements. You just have to stop letting the fizz and the packet and the 1,000 milligrams in big letters convince you that something is working when what's actually working is your kidneys filtering out the excess. Comment B2E if you made it to the end. And next time you reach for an Emergen-C, maybe reach past it. Thanks for watching.